Um, obviously with our health and with the cancer diagnosis, I was thinking of you as just what this is, how this has been for you in terms of how it's shifted your view, your perspective. What's it been like walking into this? How has God been a part of it? How has your faith, or how has it just been required? What have you had to let go of as you even heard the diagnosis, as you've come in now through the surgery, and you're in on the other side in the chemo? Mm-hmm. Is letting go something that you feel like has been a part of your journey? Or how would you talk about it?
Yeah, I think I was telling Jean that when you had sent out the email, it was just something that caught my attention, and I just hadn't been in a place to email you back or making that decision. But I think it even goes back more to leaving Kenya and coming back. I feel like this whole year has been just letting go of things that I've wanted, and I really wanted to stay there, and yet I wanted to be back, especially for your family and being, having you guys here. And so it just has felt like I ended up leaving go of living in Kenya, relationships there. That was really hard. Like, some relationships are still the same as far as being close to people, even though I'm not there. Others have really changed, and that's been hard. So, and I think now, going through this, I've had to let go of just even the way that I look, and even though I'm not married and thinking about having children, that's been another thing to realize, like, through the surgery, okay, that's not going to happen, and I know that now. It's not a question of if that will. And so even letting go of just the idea of ever having any children. So, I think with school, that's been a big thing to let go of, and to know that somebody else is in my room and they're doing what they need to, and it's fine, and the kids are fine, and I don't need to worry about that. And now these next few weeks, it's okay if I leave and I don't have everything exactly the way it needs to be, and being able to just trust that that's okay. And in my conversations with Jean, it has almost seemed like it's making my life a little bit more balanced, and I'm not focusing so much on just school and my need to feel perfect at school. So now I'm having to let go and come home and not be there.
So you talk about looking back and then kind of the day-to-day letting go. Are you kind of living day-to-day now? What do you, in terms of how you think of decision-making or school, is there a letting go in terms of that? You just kind of live in the moment of the experience, or what's that like?
Yeah, I'm such a planner, and that's been hard to not know how long I'm gonna live, which I know that everybody is in that position, but to have this and to know that there's more chance that something's wrong, I'm just really having to trust that God knows, and that I'm trusting Him for what He wants from my life. And yeah, I guess I'll even talk about, like, just going back to Kenya, thinking about going back overseas and wondering, I just don't know if that will happen or not, because I want to be close to where a doctor is that I want to go to, and that kind of thing. And so, not sure what that means for the future for me. Will I keep teaching at New Danville? Will I be able to go somewhere else? And I was thinking a lot about that before this all came up, so I think that's why it's been more on my mind, just wondering where the next step is. And even just going back to school, like trying to make decisions about schedules, I just don't know if I'll feel okay every day. I think I will, but and maybe letting go of, if I need to take a break from school, that's okay, and it's all right to say I just can't come in today, which is not an easy thing for me to do. when I feel like I'm supposed to be there, then
Mm-hmm.
I want to be there.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing.
It's obviously a very hard struggle for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has used the comparison that as strongly as I'm attracted to a woman, he's attracted to a man, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's been one of the hard things to grapple with, that maybe he is right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe God did create him this way, but yeah, and that's been a hard, one of the hardest things. And how can two people, I mean, he wants to serve God. He feels that he has been drawn closer to God through this, and his life, he continues to help people in the city. He continues to
Mm-hmm.
be a quality person.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's turned his back on God and turned his back on his wife, who had been his friend. I mean, they still remain friends, and that's hard for me to understand, and hard. So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the biggest one.
Of the tension between your beliefs, or the way you understand the world to be, and how Dwayne is talking about who he is. There's that conflict of
Yeah.
and what do you do with it? So letting go, in the sense of having an easy answer to that.
Right. There is no easy answer, and yeah, and that's what I've had to let go. And the idea, my desire to fix things a lot, and help.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really looking for that, so I've had to let that rest too. That Dave, you're not gonna fix this yourself. I mean, so I've had to lay that down at God's feet as well, and just let it in His hands. So yeah.
Thank you for being willing to share this.
Sure. I hope that by sharing that, it is a positive thing to help someone else. Yeah. So sure.
I'm grateful on many levels, but I think, we want to be the hands and feet of Jesus, the body of Christ. And as a church, I think this is not something that we can just avoid. If we truly want to be